That was a good salad. Who's gonna do the dishes?
Hi, I'm Ho Shun Ho. I'm living in Vancouver, BC, Canada, unceded territory of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. I'm an immigrant to Canada from China.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrea, coming to you from Victoria, but more importantly known as unceded Akwesasne territory of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples, the Songhees and Esquimalt First Nations, and I am an immigrant from the United States of America.
Welcome to Dishes Out. We're here to respond to ridiculous comments, the naysayers, and the negative stereotypes.
Yes, we're not going to let harmful and hateful comments have the last word. We're dishing it out, spilling the tea, and breaking down the words that divide, harm, and hurt.
So join us every Friday for a new episode.
Dishes out.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Another week, another Dishes Out.
Another Dishes Out, another Friday, another weekend. I hope. Do you have any plans for this weekend, Hoshin?
Not really.
No, yeah.
No, this weekend, maybe just chill and with
That's
my own
nice.
thoughts and keep warm. Maybe
That's good.
cry a little.
You know what? Everyone needs a good cry. It's
Great.
really
What about
healthy.
What about you? What are you doing?
Definitely have a big, juicy, sloppy, wet cry because I think I haven't had one in a while. I think I need a good one.
It's important to
It
cry.
really is. And there's
People don't
no shame in
understand
it. It's so healing too. It actually, research has shown that tears can actually help heal emotions and help you process that. Yeah, good cry.
It's important,
maybe.
yeah. And this week we are not talking about a comment that about us crying, but it is about a comment that make us want to cry after listening to it.
It does. And I think this person is crying on the inside because unfortunately they think that there is, I don't know, I feel like people have a very single, narrow view of things. This comment was in response to while you were away in China, Hoshin, which I really missed you. We needed a Dishes Out. And I invited my son Lincoln, who is 7, blue eyes, brown hair, and we have had conversations. Yes, he is. We have had conversations about Indigenous rights, Indigenous agency, the true history of Canada. And so we're always talking about these things. We also talk about human rights. So we've even talked about Martin Luther King Jr. and what it is to use our voice. And so this conversation was nothing out of the ordinary. We were responding to a comment that someone had said that we need to take back the land of Canada for ourselves. And my son and I unpacked that. And I asked some questions about whose land are we on and all this stuff. And so this person had a lot to say about my parenting and about our conversation. So I will read it here. He says, quote, "This woman, me, is leading the child to the answers she wants. I feel bad because children are being fed a version of reality that is not real," end quote. Which it's interesting because the clip, I mean, if you take a clip, people can jump to conclusions that I was leading.
Out of context, yes.
Out of context. So, but in listening to the episode, like I listened to it too, and I thought, was I even leading? And of course I wasn't. And so, but I think I really want to unpack the second part here with you, Hoshin. I feel bad because children are being fed a version of reality that is not real. What's the version of reality this person has an issue with? The fact that this is Indigenous land that we're on, that it's stolen land, that it was not upheld with the agreements that the first government had created. That's the version of reality he's saying is not real, at least in my opinion.
It's sad, isn't it? You use the word reality, and yet he obviously had a different version of reality. But then he accused the people that actually uphold that. No, we don't uphold a certain reality. We just uphold what is factual. That is on every history book, on government websites. And yet this person think that we are trying to feed that reality or trying to enforce a reality that's not true, while he's the person who is trying to believe a fake reality. It's a bit sad for him. Like I feel sad for him that he believes that, even though there's abundance of evidence there that convince him can tell him otherwise. And we can also take this sentence out to maybe a higher philosophical kind of level about what is reality, what is real to you. Enough people. When I feel like reality or truth in some sense, if there's enough people believe in something, that something can become truth, and depends how many people believe it, right? If that is true. And I would like to believe, maybe I'm naive that way, that I believe that this is indigenous land is the truth because not just because it's just facts, like pure objective of fact, but also most of us believes in that.
Right.
So in both sides, in both kind of different idea of how we identify truth or reality, that is there's only one answer, that this is indigenous land. That's just plain and simple.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And the reality, I mean, that's the reality. And we can even talk, like, for a long time, it was legal to own people and to sell them. That was the reality and the belief that a lot of people held. And that was upheld for a really long time in Canada, in the United States. The same with the ideas of Indigenous people, and that they weren't people, that they needed whatever colonization to make them matter. That was a reality they believed. And I think it's really scary because sometimes people will say, majority says this, so it must be true. That's not always the case. In fact, especially in colonized countries, who's held that narrative for so long? Who has been the one touting this ideology or this belief for so long to say that this is the reality? This is what's happening, boots on the ground, when the majority were trying to protect and keep a narrative that protected them and that made them look good so that whatever they were doing was justified. Yeah. And that's a reality that a lot of people are uncomfortable with and don't like to sit with, because we all embed that type of trauma, whether it's oppressor trauma or oppressed trauma or both. Some people hold both, that we shy away from that. I was talking with a gentleman who is completely against an EDI committee that I'm trying to start. And he said, the reason is because I don't want to include the UNDRIP in this document because they could just come back at us and they could just take back anything that they want to. And in the moment in time, I said, okay, but that's your ideology. That's not Indigenous ideology. That's colonial ideology, to just take something back and not share and hoard and push out and everything like that. So to his reality was like, no, I know what we did. We took things aggressively. And so those people will take it back aggressively. Yeah. And so they transferred their idea of reality back onto people groups or certain demographics of people, saying they'll do the same thing. How do you know? That's not their reality. That's not what they're asking. Land back is not saying y'all move, although some probably would say that, and they're entitled to say that. Most of the land back is saying, hey, honor the treaties. We want agency to move around this country.
In these lands that used to be ours, that we'll continue to be able to fish, to do our rituals, to share, to build families. Yeah. That reminds me, I don't know whether you remember when we were still in school, or maybe after we graduate, the 99 years treaty kind of agreement with the local, the Indigenous there in Royal Roads. Remember?
Oh,
it was.
I think. Go ahead.
I don't remember. It was like the date it matures is due. There was a lot of speculation. Oh, the Indigenous is gonna take back the land. The Royal Roads have to close, and then our degree will no longer valid or whatever. There's a lot of discussion about that. But when it's due, the Indigenous just keep it going. You already have a school here. Obviously, you have something established. We just want. And then I don't remember. Over the water in Royal Roads, there's a little house called Blue Heron House or something.
Yeah, Blue Heron House. Yes.
Yeah, we just want a place there that we can have space to govern, to admit our students, so that your school to be able to give some sort of assistance if there's Indigenous students want to come to study, and want you to have some Indigenous program as well. So they, at the end of the day, they didn't take the land back and ask Royal Roads to get out. They just want, we can collaborate. You can continue doing school here, but we just want
enough
our
for
kids.
Everyone.
Yeah, we want to share this land with you, but we just want maybe some focus or some people that live on this land. That's it. And that's what's plain and simple.
That's it. And so I think deep down, people know what we did. Slaveholders did that too. They knew exactly what they were doing. And they knew, and they were afraid of the uprising, because they knew people would be justified in fighting back. They'd be justified in a revolution. They'd be justified in committing whatever atrocity back, like eye for an eye, right? They knew that because that's what they had done. And I think that scares people to the core, and it makes them unwilling to see the actual reality and the actual ideas and posture that other people have.
Yeah,
And,
like it's such a colonial mindset that because I'm here, that this land is mine, so therefore it's not theirs. I don't mind share my land with them. Let's say I don't own a house. Obviously, I don't share any property like a house. I don't own a land. But if I have a land that I can share in any capacity, I don't mind coming to my house.
Yeah, there's enough for everyone.
Crazy.
And I think it's important to have these conversations with your children because honestly, you can break down these very big conversations, what we've had, and you can have it with a child and they get it. My son gets it. And you'll listen in the episode and just like, at first, I thought this was a good comment, but after he talked about how Indigenous people need to have their own land, this is a bad comment. And he just deducted that himself. That wasn't me leading him. It's just so important that I think multiple realities can exist.
I agree.
And I also believe that there is still a truth to be found in those realities. A cohesive truth. You can say all day long that the reality is my family worked hard on this land. Sure. Yeah, that's the reality. The fact that Indigenous people were here before and that they were completely treated unfairly and deserve complete reconciliation, complete recompense, like all of it is also a reality. No one's denying or taking away that. All we're saying is that there is a truth in this reality and this is what it is. I don't know if that made any sense. That's our comment. I feel like I've been talking all day long and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I need choose some dinner. Breather.
Yeah, maybe you're hungry, maybe you need some food. But this is food for thought.
Yeah. It is. Yes. And the brain.
For the brain.
For the brain needs food. And
exactly. This kind of discussion also maybe prevent you from Alzheimer or something because it keeps your brain exercise.
It does. It does. No limp brain parts here, just nothing but muscle. It's just pure, it's flexing right now. You can't see it, but she's flexing. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, thanks for digesting this with me, Hoshin.
No problem. Also, thank you for everyone who's listening. Yes, I know a lot of these comments sometimes can be like infuriating, but let's again keep a calm mind. Let's not let that affect our mood. Let's keep critical mind. Let it exercise our brain, but not our emotions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So
every Friday, we will have a new exercise for your brain and for your realities. And just be challenged. We all need to be challenged. These people challenge us, and it's good. It's always good. Anyway, we'll have a wonderful weekend. Have a great time crying, Hoshin. I'm going to have a good cry.
It's important to cry
so
a little
excited.
bit. Like I recommend everyone to do a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Good night, everyone. Or good day. Bye. Canadian Salad is written and produced in British Columbia, Canada by Hoshin Ho and Andrea McCoy. Theme music is by Naver Avetyan from Pixabay.
I like oranges with my salad.